That was just capping off after a gorgeous set from Ginger Ibex, who I have here in the studio. Hello, Ginger Ibex.
Hello.
Howdy, howdy.
Do you all want to go around and introduce yourselves? I know that there are four of you and one of me and exactly four mics and five sets of headphones. So Mel's able to hear everything that we're saying. But are you choosing to be the strong and silent type without the mic? There we go. All right. So I will introduce you for you, if that's okay. Mel Fitzhugh, who is on acoustic viola and tambourine and melodica.
No, that was me.
That's you.
Yes.
Why am I reading upwards? That's not even. I mean, yeah, right to left would be Japanese. I'm not sure. It's a late exciting night. It's been a long week, and we all need to rest up because there are many shows to come before we sleep. Mel was acoustic violin, guitar, and singing. Yes?
And cajon.
Mm-hmm. Which I actually didn't see you play, and I haven't seen before, but is a stringed instrument, no?
No. It's a drum.
Drum kind of thing.
I'll have to go and have a peek at it. I haven't seen one before. It is exciting.
It's a primal beatbox.
It's a box.
Really, that's what cajon means, is box.
It really is.
I thought it meant something else.
That's if you have more than one of them. But we can't go there on the radio.
But I'm intrigued now.
Now this is getting very exciting. Perhaps too exciting. Mel, nice to meet you. Kayeth, do you want to introduce yourself?
I am Kayeth Three Fires. I play bass and mandolin and guitar currently, always adding more instruments to whatever band I'm in. And I am Ginger Ibex's newest member. Very happy to be here.
And you are originally from California?
No, I'm actually from here. I was born in Boston and I grew up in Lexington, but I've spent most of the last 20 years living around the country, primarily out west, the last 10 years or so in Northern California, where I was very involved in the San Francisco Bay Area music scene, and circumstances brought me back out here and landed right back here and got right in the band, and I'm happy.
And you didn't even miss a beat. You're like, all right,
well, the
here we go.
interesting thing is I had been a fan of Ginger Ibex for probably the first.
I was sort of leading toward that. I wasn't sure.
Yeah. No. I'd been a fan for the last 4 or 5 years, and we were all Facebook friends and stuff. And then when it came up that I was from here, we'd have these late night messaging things where I'd be like, "Oh, is such and such still in Harvard Square?" And these
I miss Dunkin' Donuts.
That was my big thing. I am huge on Dunks.
That's how you really know you're a New Englander.
There's no Dunks west of Chicago. It's really depressing, except for one or two weird ones in Las Vegas, which you really have to ferret out.
Weird Dunkin' Donuts?
Well, they're on the, you have to partake in the Fremont Street experience to find it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. But enough about me.
Sharon and Betty, I have to admit, I already know a little bit about you, but why don't you share a little bit with our WMFO listeners about yourselves?
Well, I've been playing piano forever, and really just started writing music about, 10 years ago or so, and then, I just started writing for piano and strings, and then started doing more of it, and I met Betty, 6 years ago, was it? 7?
Yeah, 2007. Late 2006, 2007, yeah.
And then I thought, hey, I want to start recording. And it just sort of grew. Ginger Ibex just grew. And I always had in mind that I would like drums and strings and whatever else. And then when Mel joined us, we started adding more guitar, which is, I really love guitar, even though I haven't had it for a while. But it's really great to have guitar and that she can do both, not at the same time. And to have Kayeth too, because the two of them play both guitar and bass. And I can really expand the horizons of Ginger Ibex, and we finally found a drummer who will be starting with us soon.
Oh, cool.
We hadn't had one in a while.
And is your new drummer going to be performing with you on the 29th?
Yes.
I believe so.
I think so.
We're still trying to schedule rehearsals because, good drummers are always in 3 different other projects.
At least, yeah.
Yes, she is. I just remembered. She's going to be at the Armory. The Armory's acoustic. They allow hand percussion, so it'll be a little stripped down.
That's exciting, and possibly with the cajon. I'm just excited that I remembered it's a drum.
Maybe. I'm not sure.
Okay. And this is Sharon, by the way, who's
the pianist.
talking right now, the pianist. And I have to say, I only realized tonight that your album is called Virtual Cupcakes. And I
The
can't,
RPM Challenge 2014. Yeah.
I can't actually think of you or see you pop up online or see you in person and not think about cake frosting.
This is true.
So that's kind of a perfect thing.
The RPM Challenge is about, for me, us, is just experimenting, departing from the norm. Not to say that I wouldn't name a real album Virtual Cupcakes, but it's just sort of experimentation, trying new things, and just one of our songs in last year's was it Devil's Kitten? I don't know, all kinds of weird titles. We use a title generator and all kinds of stuff.
And that's nothing against any of your kittens.
No.
None of you own demon cats.
Right.
If cats are listening at home, there's nothing against you personally. I want to make sure we're not getting blocked into a bathroom later tonight. I don't know if you heard of that story. But speaking of different influences and trying new and different things, I know that you also play piano separately and teach piano lessons.
Mm-hmm.
And Betty, are you still playing in a couple of different bands?
I float around. I am a substitute violist with Walter Sickert and the Army of Broken Toys when their regular violists can't make it. So I got to do this great Dia de los Muertos gig this Halloween. That was lots of fun. I used to play a lot with an Irish punk band, Globshites. I've sort of moved away from that now. This is my first St. Patrick's weekend. I'm not playing with them.
I noticed that. I would imagine that might be a nice break.
It's a break because we're going to be at the Wellspring recording studio this weekend, doing some trims and adding Kaeth to a track we'd already recorded a couple of years ago. We finally gotten ourselves to a place where we can now go back and finish mixing and have a new album.
Oh, that's exciting. That's really cool.
And so and Sharon is having a jam session. She now has a real piano in her apartment. She has a studio apartment, but she's got a real piano now. So we sometimes have jam sessions over there where people can play on the piano and bring other instruments and things like that. So we just have a good time.
So are you recording in your apartment?
No, we're going to record at Wellspring.
Because they have a nice grand piano that she wants to take home. If she could fit it in her apartment, it's bigger than her apartment.
Country Grands. It's only $60,000. So maybe next year.
Kickstarter.
Yeah, Kickstarter.
Why not? Crowdfund it.
Yeah.
Indiegogo.
Right.
I'm looking forward to this show because with a coterie of 5 of you, that basically does that sort of fill out the entire sound that you're hoping for? Or are you going to continue?
We'll go up to 20 members. No,
I could see it happening. You talk about
spree.
Walter Sickert. You could
True.
have any sort of cast of characters you want.
My ideal band would include cello and maybe another violinist.
So we'd have like the string quartet and the piano and the bass and the drums and whatever other instruments we might throw in there. So
that would be the ideal. If that happens, great. But right now, I was just saying to a friend of mine now with the drummer and everybody here, I was saying, I think I have the perfect band. So I'm pretty happy.
That's a really nice feeling.
Yeah. So I'm happy.
And I noticed, at least as far as covers that I recognize, the titles of, I wasn't sure whether or not you'd be doing Toxic tonight.
Oh, yeah.
I did notice that you did Paranoid Android.
Mm-hmm.
Are there other sort of, what I really like about Ginger Ibex and other bands that do this particular type of cover is just sort of taking something and make it entirely your own,
Mm-hmm.
and in a way kind of dissect it.
Yeah, we did that with Toxic. Very different.
and we also do Losing My Religion.
Yeah, that one I completely, I never even really liked the song. I was telling somebody that. And then a couple years ago, I was listening to the words and it happened to sort of fit a mood I was in, a situation. And I had never played piano and sang before, and I experimented with that. And then I took the song and arranged it the way that I wanted to. We didn't play it tonight, but it will be on the new album. I just completely changed it to what the words said, what I thought the words were saying, or what they meant to me, and yeah, it's pretty much very different. A lot of people say that, oh, now they understand the words because I slow it down a little bit. And what other ones did we...
Well, now that we have a drummer, we can go back to playing Marco Polo by Lorena McKinnon.
That's a pretty straightforward
It's a
cover.
pretty straightforward cover, but now that we have Keith, and I think you're going to put...
I'm going to do the Irish Bouzouki on that one for sure. Yeah.
We also did, for a while, we were doing a Ginger Ibex version of Pumped Up Kicks.
And we now do Royals, though.
Oh, yeah, we did Royals. A
Oh,
cover of
wow.
Royals.
And just tonight we were talking about doing a...
We wanted to, 9 Inch Nails. So I just, whatever I feel like, I just grab anything that just sort of, I don't know, catches my ear, something about it.
And was it the reworking of Losing My Religion? Did I understand correctly? That was the first time that you played and sang at the same time?
Yeah, first time ever in my life. I had never played and sang ever. I never thought I could sing, never thought I could play and sing. It's just something I never did. And then, so the first time I did it was a few years ago.
Because I know also, at least Betty and Sharon and I, all three of us have been involved to a certain extent with Ladies Rock Camp.
Mm-hmm.
And Sharon, you and I both were involved a little bit on the keys, coming from opposite directions. I was not teaching keys. But it was interesting chatting with you about the difference between playing piano as a pianist on your own and playing as part of an ensemble.
Yeah.
And you mentioned that you started writing music 10 years ago. When did you start playing together with a group?
Right around that time is maybe, let's see, what year are we in? Oh, well, I think I started writing maybe a few years before that, like 15 years, 14 years. As soon as I had some songs together, is like about 10 years ago, there were a couple of musicians I worked with, a violist and a drummer. This is way back, pre-Betty and pre-anyone. We did a few open mics, and we didn't really do a whole lot. And then I just kept on the search, and I played with the cellist for a while. And then after that, I was playing with Milling Gowns, and that's where I met Betty.
Craigslist. I answered her Craigslist ad.
It was Craig, yeah. Good old
Isn't that
Craigslist.
funny? So, and Keith, you found Ginger Ibex basically online through the music itself.
Through Facebook.
Through
Yeah.
Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
This was Craigslist. How did you meet Mel? Was that...
Well, Mel and I knew each other long before either of us were in bands.
I think I put a word out to a bunch of people. Does anybody know any string players? And I think it was, I don't know, Anderson? I don't know.
Possibly, yeah.
Friends, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's sort of... I'm always fascinated by that kind of thing. Like, how do you meet people? And still Craigslist happens, but the more organic ways of finding people also is kind of exciting.
Our new drummer, it's funny, she's actually in another band with Mel, but she saw our Craigslist ad.
And we'd been talking about, we should really ask her, but she's probably too busy. And so we had...
She found us anyway.
Oh, that's nice. That's a nice happenstance. And how do you choose the way in which you arrange the songs? Do you do that collectively as a foursome? I know that you've sort of grown kind of organically from the two of you out to 3 to 4, now 5.
Yeah. Most of the songs are mine. Betty's contributed a couple, and Mel. And then, of course, the couple of covers. But basically, I'll bring something in that's about 90% finished, something like that, and tell the band, play it for them and tell them what I had in mind. And sometimes it's close to what I had in mind. I really like to hear stuff and I like their input. So I'll take their input and after what I hear, and then it can be a little, a few weeks or months process of fully figuring it out.
It's when you're writing music, particularly when you're making music scores for people to read, you can hear it in your computer, but it doesn't really sound like a real instrument. And so Sharon will bring scores that are, first drafts, and we'll play it, and then we'll go, oh, the violin and the viola really clash there. We should move those notes and things like that, and figure out how it actually sounds live with real people, and then go back and put those notes in instead.
Well, some of them I don't always write out parts. Like I refuse to write drum parts. That's ridiculous. And sometimes I'll just say, can you try stuff out? And sometimes it's fully improvised, or Betty's just made up the part herself, or Mel too. And then like with one of my newest songs, Keith on guitar, he just made up the part. I said, this is a song, I want guitar, and then he made up the part himself, and we kind of worked together. And he's, do you like this, and what about this? And so sometimes I make the parts, sometimes they create them.
And then the arrangements have a tendency to be living dynamic things depending on who's in the band, because I was playing bass on a few tunes tonight that didn't have bass on the original recordings. So it's like, oh, this guy just joined the band, he plays all these instruments, let's put him to work.
Yeah. And it does tend to grow organically in that way, which is, it's really nice when you have the flexibility to do that. And when you play together in that kind of way where you actually do fire ideas off one another and spark those kinds of ideas. Mm-hmm. How about, shall I play a song and then we can come back and chat a little bit more?
Sure.
Does that sound all right to you? Mm-hmm. Alrighty then. And anything you'd like to know about Ginger Ibex, including links to pay whatever you like downloads.
Downloads for our first album, Firefly, and our 2013 RPM Challenge album, The Rusty Goat Sessions, are both on gingeribex.bandcamp.com.
Highly experimental.
And you can get them for whatever you want to pay, or stream them, or pay nothing, and just give us your email address, and we'll happily put you on our mailing list.
That's very sweet. Now, were you saying, Keith, that you wanted to say hello to someone? Is that right?
I do. I'd like to say hello to my stepdaughter, Sabrina, who is tuning in tonight from Sacramento, California. Hi, Sabby. I miss you a whole bunch.
Oh, wow. Hello. You are on the warmer part of the country right now, which is very, very pleasant. I am a bit jealous of you, if I do say so myself. What else did we want to chat about?
Well, we had a lovely article that the Informer magazine from San Francisco wrote about us being on the show tonight. So hopefully there are people from all over the country, if not the world, listening even now.
That is true.
The beauty of the internets.
You are listening to WMFO Medford. My name is Pam. We're here for just about another 10 minutes. We still have Ginger Ibex here in the studio. We were just talking about Keith's former life as a heavy metal guitarist. We were talking about a wish list for potentially a sixth member. Is that right?
Yeah. Any cellist out there? Really like to find a cellist.
Particularly one who feels comfortable improvising.
Reading and improvising. We will be happy to give you guidance, but we also want you to take wing and fly on your own as well. And if anyone does want to contact us, our email is on our website, gingeribex.com. Our email is gingeribex@gmail.com. But if you go to gingeribex.com, you can find everything you need there. You can find our email address. You can find a little form to sign up for our mailing list. We send it out no more than once a month, and we will tell you all about our upcoming gigs. Besides our gig on the 29th at the Armory, we have one coming up in early May at the Third Life Studio in Union Square. We have one in June at the Lily Pad. We have one in July at Outpost 186. We try to do about one a month, and we usually find interesting people with us. So do sign up for the mailing list. You'll find out where we've been. You'll see some of our videos. You'll get links to new songs, and just have a wonderful time. We won't bug you with anything else, we promise.
Hey, so I like that. That's beautiful. Well, thank you very much for coming in. Thank you for performing for us.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for having us.
And we will see you live and in person in humanoid form on the town.